Welcome back to part 2 of Journey Through Jazz. Join us as we learn even more about this great American music form with Dan Jordan and the trio.
What makes jazz distinctive from other types of music is a word called improvisation. Everybody say the word. Improvisation. Improvisation means to make up as you go along using a bank of knowledge that you already know. Do I have a car enthusiast in the room? Okay, if I were to ask you to stand up and give me a speech about cars, you would have to improvise a speech about cars. You would talk about your favorite car, you would talk about your favorite paint job, you talk about how much horsepower there is in a car. That's what improvisation is. Improvisation is taking what you already know and making something brand new out of that. In a musical sense, what we do is we study the song. We study the chord progression and the melody until we have that memorized. Then we take what we already have and build something new upon that. We're going to play a song that's representative of the swing era of music. A couple of names I want you to remember in the swing era is Count Basie and Duke Ellington. We're going to play a Duke Ellington composition entitled Take the A Train. We're going to play the melody through one time, and then after we finish with the melody, we're going to improvise, make something up new based on what we've played before. Now this is the section where we improvise. What we're going to play, we haven't played before, we have no idea what we're going to play, but it's based on what came before. If you remember two names from the swing era, I would like you to remember Duke Ellington and Count Basie. Both masters at their craft, both band leaders of big bands. A big band is a band that has 5 saxophones, 4 trombones, and 4 trumpets, and a rhythm section. A rhythm section consists of a bass player, a piano player, and a drummer. So that's Duke Ellington and Count Basie. Now we'd like to move along to the bebop era. If there's 3 names that I'd have you remember from the bebop era, it would be Thelonious Sphere Monk, Charlie Parker, and Dizzy Gillespie. They forged a music that was totally new and totally unique. It was a reaction to what had come before them. In each era of music, we're dealing with a group of people who are unsatisfied with the way things are going on, and they want something new. They want something exciting. They want something to differentiate themselves from the group that came before. Much as you want to differentiate yourselves from people my age. You have your ways of speaking, you have your ways of dancing, you have your ways of communicating, you have your ways of dressing that are unique to you. Same with me when I was your age. I wanted to do things that made me unique and made me different from the people that were older than me. It's the same thing in music. In each era of music, a group of musicians come along and say, we need something new, we need something different, we need something that speaks to our condition, something that represents who we are. And this is what we're going to do now, is give you an example of the bebop style of music. Bebop. The next big influence in jazz was pioneered by someone called John Coltrane and Miles Davis, and it was the modal school of playing jazz. A mode is a fancy name for a scale, and a scale sounds like this. So we're going to play a composition and give you a demonstration of modal jazz. The thing that is so appealing about playing jazz is the emphasis on being an individual. The emphasis on doing things the way you see them, not the way other people see them. The emphasis is on being creative in your own unique way and not copying or following anyone else. What we do is we study the old masters and study the traditions of jazz and the history so that we know what has come before us, and then we try to make something new. We improvise, we try to make something new for ourselves and something that is unique. When you are unique, you cannot be compared to anyone else. You can't say he's better than him. It's either you like him or you don't like him. If you are true to yourself, then you'll find an outlet for your creativity and an outlet for your expression, and you will not be compared to other people. And that's what I find most attractive about being a jazz musician. Now we'd like to move on and discuss the international influences on jazz. Our first stop is in the islands of the Caribbean, an island by the name of St. Thomas, and this one is the calypso rhythm. Calypso. We'd like to move from the Caribbean islands to the continent of South America and visit Brazil and play music representative of the bossa nova. This is a composition entitled Wave. This next one is also from Brazil, and this is a song form entitled The Samba. We'd like to explore the influences of other countries on our art form. And what we're going to do now is we're going to play a style that's called Afro-Cuban, which means an African influence and also a Cuban influence. This is a song written by Dizzy Gillespie, and this is entitled A Night in Tunisia. Afro-Cuban. This is the influence of rock and roll on jazz. G. Funk. So as you can see, jazz has had influences from New Orleans, from Chicago, from New York, from St. Thomas, from Brazil, from Spain, from rock and roll. Jazz has embraced all of the musical art forms and combined them into one music that we call jazz. The thing that's especially beautiful about jazz is that there's so many different kinds of jazz. There's this particular kind of jazz for everybody in this room. What I suggest that you do is to go to the library and do some reading. Get a book about jazz and also check out some of the CDs or the records or the tapes from the library and do some listening. Listen to and check out and experience the art form that was born and raised here in America. The main things that I want you to remember from today is the word improvisation, to take what you already know and make something new out of it. The next thing is being spontaneous, being able to create. They point at you and they say create, and you have to be able to produce right on the spot. The next thing is cooperation among the members of the group. These are all concepts that you guys can use in your everyday life. So we have improvisation, spontaneity, and cooperation. The next thing I want to say is that I'm a musician because I love to be a musician. It's fun for me. Everybody in here is going to have to pick a career. Pick a career that you're interested in doing. Pick a career that you're excited about. Pick a career that you can make a difference in someone's life. Pick a career that will be fulfilling. The only way to be happy in life is to pick something and work extremely hard at it. Dedicate yourself to that one thing, and I guarantee if you persevere and keep on that track, that eventually your dream will come to fruition.